Now, we're going to a castle this week, Marty. Are we getting an outing finally? We're finally getting an outing somewhere nice. Is lockdown over? Are we out of lockdown?
No, we're not. We're doing it by remote, Justin. Virtually, we're getting a trip away. We are joined by Barry Connor, who is from Kinnitty Castle Fine Spirits. Hello, Barry. How are you?
How you doing, lads? Thanks for your time.
No problem at all. Now, this is a new venture for Kinnitty Castle, but Kinnitty Castle's been about for a very long time. Where are you located at? What is it?
Yeah, so I'll just give you a brief background on Kinnitty Castle. We're situated smack bang in the centre of Ireland, County Offaly, between Tullamore and Birr. So we're right at the foot of the Slave Bloom Mountains, equidistance from Galway and Dublin. So it's, as I say, it couldn't be any more central. The castle itself was built in 1209 originally, and it's been in its existing form since around 1213. It had a fire not long after it was first built, and it's been in its existing walls can still be seen today. It's a 4-star operating hotel, currently owned by my partner, who's a Florida-based Irish American called Colin Breen. Other investors include Derek Warfield. He's one of the founding members of the Wolf Tones ballad band, the Irish band. So yeah, it's we're building our own bit of history there as well with the team that we've put together. So I suppose just most recent history, the guys bought it in 2015, and with the sole purpose, obviously restoring it to its former glory. It had been an operating castle back in the 80s and early 90s, and kind of had been taken over then when the fall of the Celtic Tiger. It, like every other hotel in Ireland, suffered because of the downturn. But the guys purchased it with a mind to getting it back to its former glory, and then also installing, a whiskey experience in the castle. So with that in mind, Kinnitty Castle Fine Spirits was born.
So the whiskey's been an integral part of the whole operation from day one then?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the plan, as the castle sits at the moment, it's about 70% of the castle is operational as part of the hotel, and the stables and outhouses and the workhouse at the back of the castle. The castle was actually, back in the 80s, it used to be Irish forestry. It was a college for Irish forestry, and there was a fairly unique workhouse at the back of it as well. So that it's all storage and stuff at the moment, but we're transforming it into a whiskey experience now. So the old stables, the workhouse, and all the outbuildings at the back that's what will encompass our whiskey experience and bonding and aging facility and blending facility, and then tourist visitor attraction.
Excellent. Now, down that part of the world, you have there's a lot of whiskey history down there. I mean, you have Tullamore and Kilbeggan. Just a little bit further north, and so you have a nice little whiskey region there, which is important, because certainly people have this idea that all the whiskey guys are really in competition, but they're not. It's a whole industry lifting itself. It's so interdependent.
Exactly. Yeah. The Tullamore distillery is actually, it's right on the outskirts of Tullamore, and the first, when you leave Kinnitty Castle heading back towards Tullamore, it's actually the first building you meet when you enter the town. And this thing it's impressive for anybody that is interested in Irish whiskey or the production of Irish whiskey, and Tullamore, the brand of Tullamore Dew. You need to get yourself to, it's an absolute, they used to have a visitor experience in the centre of the town. They've actually closed that now, and they've moved it all out to the actual distillery. So if you after lockdowns are over and things are back to normal, you'll actually get a proper, run round of their production. But as you say, you've also got Kilbeggan, Glendalough is not far away. You've got all these, they're really strong names in the world of Irish whiskey now, and they're all built around the Midlands.
Yeah, I was down that part of the world last year. I took myself on a little tour in anticipation of being busy all summer. Yeah,
I actually broke down once in the Sleeve Broom Mountains, and it was great. So I stood in this lovely B&B, and whenever I went to check out, there was no charge for all the alcohol I had consumed.
Oh my God!
It paid me to break down in the Sleeve Broom Mountains.
I can't guarantee that you get the same kind of treatment.
No,
when you check in Kinnitty Castle, but yeah, we'll definitely fill you with alcohol. That's one thing.
Right.
I'd say just at the moment we broke ground just before the first lockdown on the transformation of and the restoration of our buildings. It took us quite a while to get all the planning permission and everything that we needed, because it's a 800-year-old building, and everything needs to be restored properly, and we want to do it in line with, obviously, with the environment and everything. But we want the building to look as natural and as authentic as it stands now. And we don't want to leave such a footprint where it's not authentic. So we broke ground just before the last lockdown started. So obviously our hands are tied now. But as soon as things get back to normal, we'll be tearing in, and we hope to have our visitor centre finished before the end of the year.
Excellent.
Lovely stuff. Now you've got some great products sitting in the windowsill behind you. Tell us about some of it then.
Yeah, so as I say, Kinnitty Castle Fine Spirits was brought to life around 2 years ago. Myself and two of my business partners, two Florida-based guys, Jeremy and Colin, and we launched our product with two brands, or one brand, two products. So we started off with our 10-year-old signature, 10-year-old age Kinnitty Castle, and the other one was the Dapper blend. Both of them blended Irish whiskies, both offering very distinctive, flavors and smells and aromas that we wanted to bring the whiskey to a wide demographic of people, so that it would appeal to more than just one group of people, So I can probably jump in and give you a bit of information just on the 10-year-old first of all.
Yeah, if you can do that. I see on the website it's 10 years old, blended, and it's finished in Oloroso sherry casks.
That's correct, yeah.
So that giving it nice nutty flavour, nice.
It does, and so it was aged 10-year-old bourbon, ex-bourbon casks, American bourbon. And then for the final year, it's moved into an Oloroso cask. So it gives it a nice smooth, but also you can get the smells and the taste of the nuttiness from the Oloroso. It's very, very clean spirit. Easy to drink on its own, which I would prefer. I don't like mixing my spirits too much, but also with the, you can still get the sweetness of the virgin oak coming through as well. So, it's not a raw spirit. It's very, very smooth. Also, you can get a small tinge of sweetness, but not too much.
Yeah, Justin's the cocktail guy for us.
Yes. Listen, I don't mind. I mean, it looks nice, and it doesn't look like it's a big heavy strong drink to me.
No, it's the finish that I feel coming through it. You get a nice butterscotch, so that it's not overpowering, but you can still get the aromas of the nuttiness from the Oloroso. So it's a very well balanced spirit.
Yeah.
And preferably I drink it neat,
Yeah, I'm not after my own heart. That's like I normally take it. Occasionally a wee teaspoon of water, but that's about.
It's been our American market of it's been received really, really well in the American market. They like to drink their spirits neat, especially the aged stuff. And we're happy to give it to them.
Of course. It's funny you mentioned. I've actually been in the Four Green Fields bar in Tampa. I so have. I was over visiting family who were living in Tampa, and I was in the Four Green Fields. So Colin Breen, the owner, the principal owner of the castle, and the president of Kinnitty Castle Spirits, he owns the chain of pubs. I suppose for the people watching, just a bit of information on them. They're thatch pubs. They're Irish
based in Florida, and they're actually all his buildings they've got thatched roofs on them. So you know one when you see one. They're very unique.
It's very strange because you're down near Tampa Bay, and
yeah,
they've all these beautiful big high-rise apartment blocks, and there's this little thatched cottage.
Thatched cottage in the centre of it. So Colin was the brains behind the operation, and he he's worked for a number of years bringing this all to life, and the Kinnitty Castle and all our spirits are very, very well represented throughout all his pubs in Florida now. So I think he's day by day he's working on getting them all hooked on it.
But this is that. Now, just on your website, you've 3 listings, and there's one that's not available yet. But today's a rather special day for it.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So as I say, we started off with 2 products, the Dapper and the 10-year-old, but we didn't want to be a company that so we're just going to release 2 products and then hopefully that everybody in the world buys one. We want to be a company that's seen to be looking to the future and growing and, adding to our portfolio. So we've seen that there was it wasn't very well represented or, in the Irish market at the moment. We went about setting up a beautiful spirit actually that it's a single malt that's aged in cider cask, Irish cider casks. Mm-hmm. And it's actually today is the maturation date of it. It's been aging for 4 years, and there we are. And today is the maturation date. Yeah,
brilliant. So we'll be expecting that by the end of the year.
Yeah. Again, plans were that it would be, as soon as it was matured, that we hit the ground running with it. But obviously, everything being locked down now, getting bottled and production and stuff has just slowed up. So we're hoping the second quarter of the year, halfway, maybe realistically, you're probably looking around May time. Again, very, very unique Irish product. It could Irish whiskey aged in Irish cider casks. Very, very unique. We think in the years to come that it'll be, one of the more popular aging methods that people are going to be doing.
Everybody's doing these unusual cask finishes now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. The other main one that would stand out to mind from an Irish point of view would be the stout finishes. And it can be the stout finish can give a much darker complexion to the whiskey.
It does.
So I think the cider cask's unique. You'll enjoy it when you take it.
I think the thing about it is the cider cask. It's going to be probably more of a summery drink. I think it would lend itself quite well. Nice, beautiful, sunny day.
Exactly.
Maybe maybe even chance an ice cube. Maybe chance an ice cube. That's me.
That's your cocktail.
That's changing my courses a little bit, but I could see where that would maybe be a really worthwhile one to be doing. For that. Certainly for that time of year. Now,
it's also Marty. It's a great drink that could lend itself to all kinds of mixed drinks. Always thinking about our American friends. With the flavors and aromas of it, really lends itself to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah. All that fancy stuff that we're trying our best to get used to, but
yep.
Yeah. So
now. The Dapper blend. Now, there's a couple of things I want to say about that or pull up about that. It's aged in Chablis wine.
Yeah, so the Dapper is actually, there's 3 processes to go into the Dapper. It's a 4-year-old blend. That's us there. If you can see, I'll just give you a bit of information actually on the brand itself, first of all, because it's a pretty unique piece of history, the Dapper blend. So it's actually called the Dapper. For anybody that's into a bit of history as well, should go on our website and check it out. It's called the Dapper Blend, the Tale of Ronan O'Callaghan. So Ronan O'Callaghan was a young Offaly native, but never seen himself growing up in the wilderness of Ireland. So he took himself, at a young age, off to Dublin, and he liked the finer things in life and the fine establishments that came along with it. So
like Justin.
Exactly. So then he, fell in with influential people of the period, and anyway, long story short, he ended up back at the castle with the owners around 1922, and there was a house fire, and he perished in a house fire in the castle. But his remains are he's buried in the grounds of the castle.
Wow, what a story that is! I can feel Disney coming and wanting the movie deal out of this, Barry.
Stop, I know. So it's really, really interesting story. His whole story is on our website there. So if you go on through our whiskies, there's a link that takes you to the tale of Ronan O'Callaghan. Really, really cool story, So it's again, all our products are going to be an homage to the castle, to Kinnitty Castle, to the surrounding countryside, and the history that goes along with it, And there's a lot of history,
Yeah.
So, so the whiskey itself, it's 3 components to the whiskey. So it was aged first of all in virgin American oak, so you can actually see that it's a little bit darker than the 10-year-old. That's obviously the virgin oak sucking out the minerals out of the oak, and it puts it into the spirit, making it a little bit darker. And then double distilled malt that has been aged in bourbon cask is added, and that offers a nice fruity compound. And then triple distilled malt that's been aged in Chablis casks is added then also. So there's 3 components that go into it to bring a spirit to life that's just, it's fantastic spirit for it's I think it's a week short of 4-year-old. So it's
a week short.
Yeah, so that's it. It's very smooth spirit, vanillas, toffees, but then also like the Chablis also brings through nice fruitiness and stuff as well. So
yeah, so is it bringing through fruity, or is there some of the Chablis wines have that slight acidity to them?
Yeah,
is there an element of that coming into it as well?
No, it's not so much acidic. Definitely, you can definitely get the fruitiness from on the nose. On the palate, you're definitely talking, the vanillas and the toffees, but you can get the nuttiness on the nose, but definitely no acidic. No, it's again, it can be definitely drunk on its own. But spirit drinkers, they say now that 30% of Irish whiskey drinkers are from the female category. So, and they like to have mixed drinks, and, it lends itself very, very kindly to being put through mixed drinks also,
Yeah.
I like to have mixed drinks, but I'd like to point out that I'm definitely not female.
We can see that, Justin. We can see that.
Yeah, but it's unique. It's unique that we brought double distilled malt and triple distilled malt through, and then having it all blended together to such a array of aromas and tastes,
Well, the double distilled gives that bit more body to it, a bit more weight in it.
It does, of course, and that's where the fruit. I think the double distilled offers more fruitiness rather than the triple distilled from the Chablis can, as you say, it brings out more minerals rather than So the combination of the 3 together is definitely a really, really strong blend.
Excellent. Now, the people who watch this, we're going to have a competition. We're going to have a competition, folks.
Oh, I love competitions.
I know you do. I know you do. What we're going to do is, we've done that. What we normally do, we are going to, if you comment, like, and below our tonight's show, then you can be picked at random to win a little sample bottles. And we'll send these out. Probably we'll do the tasting live on the show in 2 weeks' time. And that gives me a chance to get the winners' addresses and stuff. And then that gives Barry a chance to get the miniatures sorted out and posted.
Yeah,
so
no problem.
Put a wee comment in below tonight's show. And if you're lucky, you'll be in receipt of a miniature. So that will be that. And Barry, it's been a pleasure having you, my friend. And we'll catch up with you very shortly.
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for your time.
No problem. It's a pleasure.
No problem.
Just I suppose a quick one. Both our spirits and all our spirits are going to be distributed north and south. So they're going to be on the off trade in the north and south, and they are in the coming weeks. But as we grow and get further into the year, and when there's more light at the end of the tunnel, you'll see us getting represented in shop windows a lot more regularly. So keep an eye out, and we'll by all means pick a bottle up and let us know what you think.
Absolutely, and we look forward to it. It's all crazy times. It's all everything.
At its stage, yeah.
You can't say from one day to the next what's going to happen, but it's been a pleasure talking to you, Barry, and we shall catch up with you again soon.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
cheers.
All the best. Cheerio.
Bye.
Bye-bye.